Welcome to Dave Jaguar 66. I just wanted to give you a little look at a few issues with this. This is I bought this about a week ago, and I've just been doing some checks on it. These English wheels normally, you know, if you get a cast one, a professional one, you're looking at anything from 10 to 15,000. This thing was 501 euros, or about £400, so you can't expect too much. But the frame is quite substantial, but even so there are some little things with it. Of course I'm only using this to make small dish parts and angles and stuff for the XKs and the E-Type and so on and so forth, so I don't need too many complex curves, but it still should be right, but you get what you pay for. The first thing I wanted to show you was, if you look at this dial indicator here, you can see how this wheel is actually not running true. You can see there it's 9, 10, 10,000 there. So the whole circumference is going to about 13, 15,000 out. This is thousandths of an inch, of course. There could be a little bit of grit on here, but I guess not. That's not a major deal. I can get away with that. The other problem is that, let me just take this lock off. I've got it's magnetic. I'll put that down, in fact, the dial gauge. The other thing with this wheel is that there is some movement here. You can see that's tight now. I could probably get it even tighter, but there is some little movement there. So what's going to happen is the tracking's not going to be great. So what I intend to do now is put another block in there. I won't go all the way around. It doesn't need it because it's not sideways. It's this way for when you can turn it. The idea is this screw that you can turn it that way and wheel something that side, so I can adjust that. One of the other things I found as well is that when I took this out, which is a pretty heavy piece of kit, when I took it out and I went across the bearing, I could see there was actually a gap. The wheel's straight, both sides. On one side the bearing is perfectly in line. This is not the greatest straight edge. It's certainly not an engineer's edge, but even so. And you can see the bearings pushed to one side, so it needs to be pushed over a little bit more. Again, these are small things, but they could make a difference. With the anvil, the anvils I've got here, there is a problem that really needs sorting out, which is here you can see there's a lot of movement across that. Now, if that's going backwards and forwards, the crown of that anvil is going to be a problem. It's going to be waving all over the place. So what I'm going to do is I like the idea of the slot, which most of them have, is great. And fortunately, I've checked all the axles on all 6 of them, and they're exactly the same length. So what I'll do is I'll build something across here, which will hold this steady in place, so it doesn't move around. Because otherwise, with a flat one it's not so bad, but with something that's got a big crown on it, it's going to be a problem. Yeah. So, and the next thing this is the rubber I was talking about, and this is off an old punctured wheelbarrow, and it works well. It'll go on, but the problem with it, with a wheelbarrow one, is this is why it won't work. Is obviously this is where the valve was, where the neck was. And obviously that's quite thick, so every time you put it through it would go clunk, but at least I know this is the diameter that I need to fit perfectly, and it'll slide over the side. And the idea of this rubber, like I said before, is that if you're wheeling something like for instance a tunnel, a gearbox tunnel, you want it to move from side to side, and you don't want the length having a dip in it. And this, by putting the rubber over the top of it, it'll effectively take this wheel, it'll take this issue out with a slight bend in it. You'll get just the bend down here, which is what you need. For what I need, this is fine. It wasn't a massive amount of money. It's not one of the cheaper ones. It's probably it's not even middle range. It's, you know, it's just a reasonable price for what it is. Anyway, I'll pick this up and I want to show you. So this is the what I wanted to show you on this, and you can see, just zero that, and you can see when I checked these, what I did was I checked all these axles to make sure that they are the same, and as it turns out they are. So within a few and they're all pretty much the same. So actually I'll just move that, never mind. But they are, as you can see, they're all pretty much the same. So that's good news. What I am going to do is it's quite a chunky bit of kit to have. So what I thought I'd do is actually I'm going to change it a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a hinge on this back piece. I'm going to make a base plate for it to swivel on. So this will be attached to a swivel, which I'll attach to the floor. And the idea behind that is it's not something you're going to use all the time. And as you can see, it's got these legs on the front. So what I'm going to do is take it halfway up the workshop, approximately here somewhere, so I can get a full car into this bay, and then I can take it out if I have a car here, and I'm going to attach it to the floor. And the idea is that this will completely slide in. You can imagine this will go to the back and it will completely slide in against this wall, and that means that those legs are sticking out. So what I'm going to do there is modify it. I'm going to cut the legs off. I'm going to put tubes into the leg so it can go flat against the wall, and this bit isn't sticking out and there's a trip hazard because it's quite thin, reasonably thin here. And I'll put tubes in it with extensions in them, so when I'm using it I can just slide it round on the pivot on the back, on that back piece there, and then here where these holes are I'll put jack screws in it so I can keep them up when I swing it out and then put them down and stabilise it. And I think that's probably going to be the way to go. So that's my intentions on it. These two here, you can use those obviously the way they're done. You can use that, I guess, for the tracking this way and that way. So that's something I need to look at as well. But overall, for what it is, for the cost of it, you know, I think it's not a bad bit of kit. For a guy who does it for a living, I would say probably not. But for somebody who's using it the amount of time I will, you know, it'll probably take me, I don't know, 10 years to get my money back out of it. So maybe not. It depends. But anyway, so I just wanted to do that update and review on it, and I'll get these things fixed up. I have a friend who's a machinist, who's a master machinist, and he has all these machines at home, CNC machines, so I can get lots of things done. I can even have different anvils made for it here. But that is far too, that's not good at all, so I'll have to sort that fairly quickly. Anyway, so that's it. I just wanted to do a little review and show you what I was up to and what my plans are for it. But I think pushing it in against the wall will be definitely the way to go, because it's not something you want to use all the time. And it is quite lumpy to move around. It's, I don't know, it's 100 kilos or more. I guess it's at least 100 kilos. Anyway, thanks for watching in. I'll give you an update tomorrow on the Mini. I'm doing the other arch at the moment, putting in the strengthener into the arch, so I'll do that then. Anyway, so that's it, RP Tools. I'm sure it's made in China and they've put their name on it from Austria or Germany, but I would imagine the stuff's come from China at that price. Anyway, take care. Bye for now. Take care.